The Hyundai Ioniq 9 is a bit of a weird one. In lots and lots of ways, it's more car than anyone would ever need. It's got more USB-C ports than anyone would ever need. It's got a bigger battery, over 110 kilowatt hour battery. Again, more than most people would need. It's got a range of over 600 kilometers, more than most people need. Who drives that without stopping? And it's massive. It's over 5 meters long. Take, for example, the actual suitcases you can go on a long haul holiday with. You'll get two of them in the back of the car with the third row up. Look, it's massive. At €78,495, it's also got a fairly massive price tag. But what do you get for that cost? And is it actually an all-round decent value for money 7-seater that just happens to be electric? In this video, I'm going to point out the pros and the cons. Oh, and if you're looking for a more regular review of what's the middle row like and the third row like and all that stuff, I've also done an early look at this car just a few short weeks ago. Same car, Ionosphere, green colour, so you can check that out as well at the end of the video. Take the wheelbase, for example, 3,130 millimeters. So in the middle row in particular, the space is ridiculously big. And then you got this panoramic glass roof that comes as standard. You can adjust the angle of these seats, so you might want to sit a bit more upright to give your third row a bit more space, or you might want to lounge back and stretch out because there's so much leg room. I can understand why you might want to do that. You get window blinds to keep the kids happy and the sun out of their eyes. You get your own individual climate control and even an armrest that opens at the rear. However, Irish cars don't get certain specs such as this movable console that you may have seen in the Ioniq 5. What? It is in many ways the same car as the Kia EV9, but there are quite a few tweaks as well. For example, while it sits on the same platform as the EV9, the drag coefficient is 0.25, which is better. And even the way the car tapers off at the rear, it's all designed to get airflow moving around the car in the most efficient way. But does it actually work? Because typically cars of this design, quite like a brick, aren't very efficient. Assuming quite a few of you will want to know what this car is like at motorway speeds with the larger battery, I'd expect it's a vehicle that, yes, it's electric, but it will be required to do decent journeys. So you have adaptive cruise control, you have lane change assist, you've got lane keep assist. It will keep up and down with the vehicle in front, and it will also change speed depending on what the road signs say if you're in cruise control. So really, there's not an awful lot for you to worry about. The car will also change lane for you. You indicate, it displays on the head-up display that it's green to go, and it does it for you. And this system is better than the Tesla one as far as I'm concerned, because even if I do input some feedback into the steering wheel, the whole cruise control system doesn't shut off. Now, sometimes, for example, here it says road type not supported, where it did work, as you could see, 15 seconds ago. We're at 73, 74 decibels at motorway cruising speed. Now, they have, in a kind of noise cancellation way, with the Bose system, filtered out some of the road noise and exterior noise. There's specific insulation gone into the tires to reduce cabin noise also. It's not that there's no noise in the car at 120, but it's pretty quiet. Now, I'm at 50% battery with 290 kilometers, which really is not far off the claimed 610 or so kilometer range. Very, very impressive. Here's one of the annoying things when it comes to public charging. So I'm trying to test the charging curve on the car. Plenty of spaces here. Fast charger, 150 kilowatt charger. But there's a BYD CLU, which is a plug-in hybrid. It's blocking the right-hand side of a fast charger. And they're using the slow charger, the AC, because it's a plug-in hybrid. And they're potentially gone for whatever it is, 12 hours. And that is one half of a charger out of action for 12 hours. That's annoying. The design of this charger setup is that the plug-in hybrid here on my right, which is doing nothing wrong, is blocking one half of that fast charger. And they could be there for hours and hours and hours. And I'm now stuck with a 50 kilowatt. In I think 20 minutes I put in 4%. It's going to take over 2 hours, and I'll get an overstay fee, and you're paying 60 odd cent for the privilege, 66 for the faster charger, which I can't even use. Again, not blaming the plug-in hybrid driver. They're doing nothing wrong, but the design of this e-car charger hub is ridiculous. We're going to see more and more plug-in hybrids in the medium to short term because they're getting longer range. Some people don't want to go fully electric, get all that, but we need a load of chargers for cars like this, and we need dedicated areas for battery electric vehicles, in my opinion, because how is this going to encourage people to go electric when they see you're getting 36 kilowatt charging speed from this dinosaur? Again, this minimum, you're getting 250 kilowatt out of this thing. I should be in and out in 15 minutes max, and I'm not. And you've got people circling here looking for a space. It's just a really, really poor design. And these 50 kilowatt chargers, they have to go. They're not up to the purpose anymore. 10 years ago, 7 years ago even maybe, fine. But there is no electric car really on the market, Dacia Spring aside maybe, that could benefit from this anymore. They need to go, and we need to just be gone, please. Anyway, I would be charging this car at home if it were me overnight at like 10 cent a kilowatt hour rather than 66 for this. But I do like keeping an eye on the public network from time to time just to see what it's like. And there's lots of positive experiences, don't get me wrong, but this is not a good one. Right, so that ridiculous inconvenience at 64 cent a kilowatt hour, 13.7 by 0.64, cost me just shy of €9, €8.76, and I got 11%. And equivalent wise on the gasometer, about 50 kilometers for that. It's a general overview then of your efficiency at motorway speed, and indeed the decibel levels. Don't say I don't cover lots of different topics in these video reviews. Nice sitting position, good and high up, commanding view of the road. You have obviously this little lower part that you can extend out. Now obviously very, very useful if you're kicking back when you're charging, but you can extend it a little bit when you're getting in and out of the car. It also moves for you when you're getting in and out to help with access. There's plug and charge, plug and play for parking. Something that is a little bit mean, I think. So you have the Blue Link connection. You can add on lots of different subscriptions with that, including a gear change sound. Now I don't know if it's as good as the Ioniq 5N, which is superb, chef's kiss. But there are different things you can add on and inevitably pay for if you really feel you need them. What's it like to drive then? Plenty of power, you know, just over 300 brake horsepower, loads and loads of electric torque as well on tap. So it's never really wanting for power. It's quick in a straight line, but it is a tall vehicle. It's intended for carrying lots and lots of passengers. So you feel the weight of it, and it has a bit of body roll, but I wouldn't really expect anything less in this size of car. All versions, because it's the one trim elegance in Ireland, you'll get the Bose 14 speaker sound system. It is really, really great. I like my tunes and they sound fantastic to that. You also have vehicle to load, so you can unleash this massive battery if you were camping, for example, or trying to power things during power outages or whatever. It can do all that for you as well. You're spoiled with USB chargers. They're absolutely everywhere, including in the seats, up to 100 watt output. In fact, Hyundai give you a specific cable that comes with the car. Very, very thick, very, very heavy duty, and will charge things lightning fast. And hopefully no one has nicked that out of your car by the time you get your hands on it. You have this digital camera stream for the rear mirror. Works pretty well most of the time. You do get a bit of a reflection off the glass roof depending on what way the sun is. Obviously you can just flick down to your standard camera then if it's annoying you. Thermal management of the battery, so you can precondition it to get the fastest. It's up to 350 kilowatt charging. I think that's a bit of ahead of its time really, particularly in Ireland. You should be able to get 250 though, easily enough. I am actually preconditioning the battery now. You can manually override it, or you can use it with the nav basically going to a charger. You have the 4 levels of regen, including the iPedal Max, which means it will bring the car to a complete standstill once you lift off the throttle. I've been using level 3 quite a bit. For me, it's a bit of a sweet spot. I like it. These cameras that come on in your blind spot are also brilliant. Again, this is all stuff you get as standard. And if you're someone who doesn't like using screens for things like climate control, well, they have that all covered with loads and loads of physical buttons. And I'm really liking that shelf down below for storing my sunglasses, AirPods, chewing gum, the usual stuff you want to chuck somewhere. The door bins, I think they're actually a little bit small considering the size of the car. They could definitely be a bit bigger. I think a cooler box somewhere as well in the car with that huge armrest would be very, very welcome. And Irish cars are also missing the ultraviolet disinfectant gadget. You do get it in the Santa Fe in Ireland, but not in the Ioniq 9. Again, I wouldn't say stripping out because it is a very, very highly spec car, but there are a few things that Irish spec cars will be missing in order to keep the price the way it is. Do the driving I do, at least anyway. I think I'd be charging this thing every other week, certainly every 12 days or so. I'm driving it now a week and I've still got now 42% battery, or a predicted almost 300 kilometer range. That's a lot. Now you could argue, well, if you're not doing those levels of journeys, then why do you need such a big battery? And that's why I do wish there was a more affordable version of this car, just with a smaller battery. Everything else staying the same, but a smaller battery version. In real world terms, obviously I'm editing this video, but about half an hour of a constant 100 to 120, the worst I'm seeing is 19.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. An interesting car, no doubt about it. If you truly do need something like this, and I'm going to have the Volvo EX90 on the channel very soon, that car makes this car look like a bargain. Okay, so I get that some of you may feel it has a face that only a mother could love, and it probably is a split you down the middle type of design of car. But having lived with it now for a week versus the couple of hours I had the last time, if I needed this car to carry the 7 people at times, to use that boot, to charge it relatively cheaply at home, yes, it has a huge battery, but if you have solar or you have a night rate, you will negate the running cost of it. As a piece of engineering, it's a really, really good car. The spec on this version, yes, there's only one version, is so good. You have everything: head-up display, air-cooled seats, every safety gadget you could imagine. It really comes with absolutely everything. The Dove interior, you'll only get a black one if you get a white exterior. Most of the other colours like this will get the Dove with a mix of black. It's a shame there's no 6-seater version in Ireland, at least for now, and it's a shame that there isn't a smaller battery single motor version that brought it down even more, because for some people it will be just too far out of their reach. But if you have the funds to do it, it is one of the best 7-seaters on the market right now, regardless of fuel type, in my opinion. What an interesting car. Very futuristic. You do feel like you're kind of jumping 5 years ahead of yourself when you get into this thing. And that's how I genuinely feel about it. A very, very unique, nothing else like it on the road today at least. And yeah, if you've got the pockets for it, you could do a lot worse than checking out the Ioniq 9 from Hyundai. Let me know what you think. Would you consider one? Are you in an EV9 for the last couple of years? How have you been getting on with it? And any other thoughts you have about this car, let me know down below. I'll see you next time.